TLC spoilers reveal that Matt Roloff, a cast member of Little People Big World, got some frightening medical news involving an illness. What then do teasers disclose about Matt's alarming medical condition? Little youngsters everywhere unfortunately have to cope with a variety of medical concerns on a regular basis. Viewers have witnessed this in sequences from Little People Big World on TLC alone. Matt Roloff needed to have his shunt rebuilt, which required brain surgery. At a very young age, even Jackson Roloff had to have surgery. There are various medical diseases that are discovered, many of which most people may not even consider in their daily lives. Achondroplasia is significantly more difficult than most people understand. Future scenes from Little People Big World Season 25 are spoiled to reveal a negative Matt Roloff. Looking worse for wear, the patriarch of the Roloff family is dozing off on the couch under a blanket. Matt claims that his doctor has given him some unfavorable news. Karen Chandler claims in Tiny People Big World spoilers that Matt Roloff has a tiny person esophagus despite his little height. More than his body can manage, Matt's esophagus is too lengthy. In relation to the anatomy of a guy of typical size, it is therefore physically pushed out to the side and in an odd place. Sadly, Matt Roloff had to undergo extra medical treatment due to complications from what he initially believed to be a regular operation. According to spoilers for Little People Big World Season 25, Matt Roloff claims that his insides are squashed. Back in May 2023, he went in for what he believed to be a standard endoscopy to examine his esophagus. He mentioned at the moment that he experienced some unanticipated stomach twists and turns. Viewers of Little People Big World will be able to witness more of the behind-the-scenes work that went into this scenario. Matt Roloff has a cheerful attitude and a sense of humor about the entire situation. Matt Roloff makes jokes about having too much of himself stuffed into his tiny body when he is with Karen Chandler in certain instances. Karen Chandler, of course, concurs. Medical emergencies are always frightening, but they become much more so when unanticipated complications develop. Even if Matt Roloff is experiencing difficult circumstances in Little People Big World situations, he manages the issue with an optimistic outlook and his signature sense of humor. Ahead of some difficult conversations with Jackson Roloff, Matt Roloff from Little People Big World gets ready. The question of his son's dwarfism has already come up, but in certain situations he thinks it's crucial to control oneself. Telling his wife Tori Roloff about their talk about their dwarf baby Jackson, Matt Roloff shares his experiences as a dwarf. Inquiring as to why his buddy Beckett was not allowed to participate in the Dwarf Athletic Association of America sports event with him, their youngster inquired. To enable individuals with dwarfism to participate on sports teams with teammates who are similarly sized, the Dwarf Athletic Association of America holds competitions. Being non-dwarf meant that his pal couldn't participate, the Little People Big World reality star informed his kid. It took Jackson by surprise. If he was a dwarf, what does it imply? He questioned his father. Tori learns from Zach that their kid has to have the dwarf talk much too soon. His son was a little bewildered, he says. How come other individuals aren't dwarfs, he wonders. That is how God made Jackson, the TLC celebrity tells him. His son, he believes, was okay with it. Nevertheless, he thinks his kid believed he was berating him. Zach is not in favor of the dwarf conversation. But he is aware that these times will come. He is aware that he will have these discussions. He knows that Jackson will begin to explore his own curiosity and ask questions. However, the cast member of Little People Big World doesn't design these exchanges in his mind. He's going to wait and see how his kids bring it up before taking further action. He doesn't believe there will be a discussion, though. He has a feeling that they may occasionally get inquisitive. Regarding dwarfism, Zach says he firmly believes that the more he and Tori respond to everything, the more it will impact their children. If it has a bad effect on him and his wife, he believes it will also have a terrible impact on them. Therefore, he thinks it's critically that when the subject is raised, people don't become overly emotional. For Matt Roloff, it's not about him and Tori Roloff at that particular moment. He believes the discussion is about how their children will be affected by it for the next 50 years. Kim argues that Jackson Roloff and his children's future responses to becoming dwarfs will be influenced by how him and his wife respond in the initial phases. Jackson always gets straight answers when he asks the Little People, Big World castmate about dwarfism. Zach, nevertheless, also takes care with his appearance. He wants to avoid drawing too much attention to it or displaying too much emotion. He wishes to support his son in keeping up mentally.